It all started on a Thursday when Dr. Elena Morales turned off the lab lights at the McGovern Institute in Cambridge and went home to Somerville, thinking the prototype was secure. The date was April 14, 2011. What unfolded over the next 6 months reads like a police procedural with an impossibility stitched into its center. A machine that could record and replay human memories had been stolen. A young lab technician was dead, and the traces left behind raised questions no court was prepared to answer. The device was modest in appearance, a padded helmet and a cart of optics, but its work had been explosive. Funded in part by a DARPA grant and shepherded through peer review at MIT, the Mnemonic scanner translated spatio-temporal neural patterns into compressible data. In controlled trials, it produced faithful replays of subjects' recollections, a child's first bike ride, a surgeon's memory of a complicated suture. To ethicists, it was Pandora's box. To intelligence contractors, it was an irresistible commodity. On April 15, lab assistant Alexander Alex Chen was reported missing. 2 days later, his body was found in a back alley behind a laundromat in Cambridgeport. The Cambridge Police Department cataloged the scene with methodical brutality: a broken security badge, a boot print on wet cobblestone, and footprints heading toward the Charles River. But when investigators examined MIT's lab logs and CCTV, they found something stranger. The security footage was corrupted for 11 seconds during the time Alex likely left the building. The corridor camera recorded only a smear, like film exposed to light. Detective Marcus Hayes of the Boston Police Homicide Unit took the case and called in federal partners. The FBI's cyber forensics team recovered a partial log from the Mnemonic workstation, a file stamped 020318 that had been overwritten. Forensic neuroscientist Dr. Naomi Patel reconstructed the overwritten header and testified in private that the file's hash matched a memory signature that belonged to Dr. Morales herself. A narrative formed quickly in headlines, the inventor framed by her own machine. Leaked emails suggested that an outside contractor, a Delaware-registered private security firm bidding for DARPA follow-on work, had been seen near Kendall Square in the days prior. A senior analyst at the Pentagon, according to a redacted memo later released under the Freedom of Information Act, had argued that the technology could be weaponized to extract testimony without video cameras or coercion. At the arraignment in Suffolk County, prosecutors confronted Morales with 2 allegations: accessory to theft of government property and obstruction. The defense argued that memories are not documents, that a replay is not evidence. They showed that memory replays could be manipulated, compressed, and recomposed. The judge allowed only circumstantial evidence. In the gallery, Alex Chen's mother sat rigid, refusing to let the trial become an argument about philosophy. The trial that followed became a theater of scientific ethics. Naomi Patel demonstrated a controlled replay of a volunteer's childhood picnic. Jurors watched a holographic rendering, then watched the same replay with subtle edits introduced by engineers. A laugh moved from one child to another. A bench shifted 5 feet. The edits were indiscernible to unaided observers, but evident in the final signatures. The defense argued reasonable doubt. The prosecution offered motive. Mnemonic could sell secrets, erase scandals, create alibis. 3 months into the proceedings, a witness came forward, a maintenance worker who admitted to seeing an unmarked van park outside the McGovern loading dock the night Alex disappeared. His phone-recorded video, however, had been stamped with a different timestamp. A later hearing disclosed that a private firm had been using temporal obfuscation software to anonymize surveillance for a client. The names on the invoices were redacted. The district attorney declined to press murder charges without clearer links. What began as a single homicide metastasized into a scandal about memory ownership. Congressional committees held hearings. Journalists traced shell companies to an offshore broker who traded in mnemonic assets. Public trust in brain recording research cratered. Moratorios were imposed on human trials, and the Mnemonic prototype vanished from public record, its last confirmed custody logged in a secure evidence warehouse in Boston, then mysteriously transferred under court order to a federal R&D archive. In 2016, a sealed deposition surfaced in which a contractor admitted to reconstructing a memory to protect a client's interests. No one was indicted for Alex Chen's death. Dr. Elena Morales returned to private life, avoiding interviews. Detective Hayes retired early, keeping a box of printouts in his attic. Naomi Patel published a paper warning that recorded memories could be both evidence and weapon. Today, historians call the episode the Cambridge Memory Heist. It sits at the awkward border where legal precedent meets nascent technology, an unresolved murder, a stolen prototype, and a nation forced to ask whether a remembered fact is any less malleable than a lie. The file folders remain yellowing in archives. The public remembers the images, the helmet, the wet cobblestone, the empty lab,